And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. Glad you're able to join us. We've got a lot to cover this evening, a ton of success over the weekend for the Tornadoes across a variety of sports, and looking forward to talking to guests from football as well as volleyball in just a few minutes. But do want to catch you up on the latest across the world of Brevard College athletics. And we'll start with volleyball. The best start in the program's NCAA era history, currently a 10-2 record, just outstanding stuff. The volleyball team on an 8-match win streak. That's their longest win streak in the NCAA era as well. On the individual side, Bailey Lance eclipsing the 1,500 digs mark, and just the Tornadoes hitting on all cylinders as of late. And you have the opportunity to see them tomorrow, 6 o'clock. That's Tuesday at the Bosch versus Salem, USA South Conference play. Hope we can pack the Bosch for that one. And then another opportunity to see the volleyball team on Saturday when they take on William Peace at 12 p.m. at the Boshemer Gymnasium. The inaugural Brevard Cross Country Classic happened over the weekend. Congratulations to seniors Haley Lane Miller and Sandra Diaz Martinez. We had a senior day ceremony there as well, but a successful inaugural event. Expect more of that in the years to come. Tornadoes will head to Louisville for their next event on October the 5th. Cycling had an event up in Banner Elk, North Carolina, hosted by Lise McCrae. Mountain bikes, another successful weekend there. They'll be in Columbia, Kentucky for a trip to Lindsey Wilson. More mountain bike action this weekend. That's Saturday, Sunday in Kentucky for the Tornadoes mountain bike program. Women's soccer, 4-1 win over Carolina University in non-conference play, followed by a 1-1 draw against Meredith. And at this moment, women's soccer in action this evening at Toccoa Falls. We'll see if we can get you an update before the end of the show for the Tornadoes women's soccer team. They'll be back home after a series of road matches, taking on William Peace Saturday, 2 p.m. at Islamel Family Field. Men's soccer team, a pair of 4-0 wins, 4-0 over Maryville, followed by 4-0 over Berea. Ryan Lynch wins USA South Offensive Player of the Week. His second straight week winning that award, his sixth time winning that award in his career. Emil Ramstrom, the freshman from Sweden, wins USA South Defender of the Week, and Enrique Sosa, the USA South Rookie of the Week. So a clean sweep by the Brevard College men's soccer program of the USA South Conference Weekly Awards. The men's soccer team will face Emory. This was the team that the Tornadoes played in the NCAA D3 tournament first round last year. A rematch at Islamel Family Field Wednesday at 5 p.m. That's a big one. And then at Southern Virginia on Saturday, 1 o'clock in Buena Vista, Virginia. That brings us to football, where the Tornadoes defeated Belhaven 42-26 in the USA South Conference opener. A huge performance for the Tornadoes to start the conference schedule 1-0 against the defending USA South Conference champions, the Belhaven Blazers. Just a huge Saturday for NATO Nation and the football program. Couple of USA South winners in that department as well. Ethan Beamish, the USA South Offensive Player of the Week, the quarterback for the Tornadoes, and the defensive end, Robert Dorsey, a 3-sack day, and that earns him USA South Defensive Player of the Week. Tornadoes will be right back at it, taking on a formidable Maryville squad, 1 o'clock Saturday in Maryville, Tennessee. And that brings us to our first guest of the evening, as we'll invite in head football coach Bill Khayat to the program. Looking forward to catching up with Coach Khayat. Coach Khayat, thanks for joining the program.
I appreciate you having me on, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's always fun to have you on after a win that we witnessed on Saturday, anything of that nature, 42-26 over Belhaven. We got to talk quite a bit during the week leading up to that game, and we identified plenty of keys to victory, but the Tornadoes obviously get it done, 42-26. Coach, your impressions now that a couple of days have passed since that big win?
Well, really, you got to first mention where the week began. And that week began the previous Saturday, shortly after 4 o'clock, when the squad and the coaching staff were completely demoralized. They had a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter of a game against Hampton-Sydney that a victory is in our grasp, and we let it slip away. And you have that mindset going into preparation for the next week. And you think, okay, how can we get this turned around? Well, who do we have next on the schedule? a team that we have never beaten in the history of our program. All right. What else about them? Well, they're the reigning USA South champions. Oh, wonderful. And they were picked to finish second in the conference, far ahead of us. So the psychology part of the week did not start out too well. However, they were able to overcome. So for me, the biggest, the most exciting part really of the week for me at the victory was how the week started. As wonderful it was to see things play out on the field, to know that they could overcome where they were psychologically at the start of the week and how they were able to finish the game was truly impressive to me.
No doubt about that. Really an impressive performance in so many ways, Coach Khayat. Congratulations to you, the entire staff, and the team. Do want to mention, some of the individual performances. There were some awards handed out today. First on the offensive side, Ethan Beamish wins USA South Offensive Player of the Week. Jadien Deaton, who we're going to have on the show in a little bit, has a huge day, over 100 yards rushing. Also, Chancellor Lee Parker punches it in a couple of times. Joseph Cuellar, we're going to have him on the show as well. A couple of touchdowns. So getting it done offensively from all sorts of sources.
And it's very calming to have experience at the quarterback position. As your quarterback goes, so goes your team. And when Ethan has time to throw, boy, he can deliver, and he will spread the ball around. I mean, that's just the way the offense is built. It's not built around certain players. It's built around what the defense gives you. And that's what Ethan does well, is nowhere to deliver that ball. But the other great thing is that for us, we don't use the passing game to open up the run. We do it the other way around. We run the ball, and until they have to get everybody on the planet down there to try to stop us from running, whether that's Chancellor Parker, whether that's Deaton, whether that's the rest of the core in there at running back. And now we can get that ball up over people's heads and throw it down the field. So it was a joy to see a lot of people get involved, but that's really been the story of our offense for years.
And defense comes up big, especially late in that game, to just kind of seal the victory. Robert Dorsey named USA South Defensive Player of the Week, but a team effort all the way around, shutting down a very tough Belhaven offense. And, that big offensive line of theirs who's so powerful, but Tornadoes with the upper hand.
And I did tip my cap to Coach Kurt Gavea, who really put in some beautiful new wrinkles this past weekend, things that they would not have seen on film from our game against Hampton-Sydney, that really caught the Blazers off balance during that game. And like you and I spoke before the game on the field, I let you know that offensive line was really powerful and did wonderful jobs at double teaming people and just giving that quarterback and the running back space to work. And, we didn't allow that to happen. And it was a lot of the game plan, but then it was the execution by the players that was really tremendous. And a guy like Robert Dorsey that you mentioned, I mean, he's the kind of player that the only way you can stop him is to wear him down where he's tired because he's been on the field the whole time, or you got to cheat, meaning you have to hold him. So if you hold him on every play, then he can't get to the quarterback. So, and obviously can't do that because it'll be costing you 10 yards a pop. So he's really a dynamic and spectacular player, and we're thrilled to have him on our roster.
And do, of course, need to mention special teams as well. A block punt, Nick Akis coming up big, in all sorts of areas, whether he's, kicking off or, getting in on plays. Also, Samuel Vargas with a big day punting the football. And, of course, Hugo Taylor, with some critical point after touchdowns and you name it there for the place kicking side of things. But, just overall special teams, big contribution towards this win.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic job by Coach Matt Helton. It's his first time coordinating special teams. And I mean, he's really poured his heart and soul into this unit. And you can see all that work because those players play for him. I mean, they really know how much he believes in them, and they go out and execute on the field. And I told the guys after the game, that is what a team victory looks like. So, there's often times where one phase of the game just isn't playing particularly well, and another phase has to pick up and really take off and win the game for them. In this particular game, there were so many ebbs and flows within the game. There were highs and lows for all the different phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And then when it mattered most, all three of those phases came through.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Coach. Just a huge win, 42-26 over the defending USA South Conference champions. Next up, Maryville. What a history that the two teams have had over the years. A trip to Maryville. They're off to an impressive start so far in their young season. 1 o'clock Saturday at their place. Could you help preview this matchup, please?
Well, it's fairly simple. We have a tall task at hand. I think anybody can just look on the internet and start scrolling through the USA South statistics and find that Maryville's at the top of all of those. And I mean the positive ones. So ranked number 1 in defense, very difficult to move the ball on them, even more difficult to score points on them. Offensively, they're absolutely loaded with weapons all the way across the board, including a quarterback that was the first team quarterback in the USA South from last season. So he's now a junior, going in his 3rd year worth of experience. So, and a very well coached team. Coach Ben Fox, he's been around nothing but winning at all of his previous stops prior to his getting to Maryville. So, a lot of winning. They were 8-2 last year, off to another fast start this year. Again, picked ahead of us as a USA South finisher. They were picked 3rd. So, formidable opponent once again, doesn't get any easier on us. So, and that's just the way football goes. I mean, you do a heck of a lot more practice than you do playing in this sport. So we got 3 days of the true hard physical work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, it's really the mental aspect of it to make sure everything's clean and tight. And then we got to turn it loose, get up early Saturday, make the drive, and go out and meet them on the grass at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. Well, looking forward to that. We have one of your student athletes here ready to go. We're going to go ahead and bring him into the show, Coach, and would love for you to talk even further about the following individual. Jadien Deaton joining the program, the senior running back from New Albany, Mississippi. Just a huge day on the ground for the Tornadoes. Coach, please tell Tornado Nation a little more about Jadien.
Well, let me say this. When Coach DJ Taylor and Coach Brandon Unangst first brought me the film, I said, you absolutely have to be kidding. I thought there was no way. I thought it was a joke they were playing on me, because the things that I saw in that film were absolutely spectacular. And they said, no, he's absolutely interested. And one thing that I was very high on for him, that he was a product of the community college or JUCO system in Mississippi. And, anyone that knows me and the history with my father and how I looked up to him as my hero, he played his high school football and part of his college football in Mississippi. So players from Mississippi have always been something that I look at, knowing that these guys just know the game, they understand it, and they'll give you everything they have. And, we watched him play on special teams and do some things in his practice film at UT Martin. And we just knew he'd be a spectacular fit for us. And sure enough, he is not disappointed. And I think all we wanted to do was see him get turned loose. That was a little phrase we were using, because once we knew he got into space, he could do some things. And, he was going against a team from Mississippi that gave him a little bit extra incentive to do well. And he certainly shined on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We're really looking forward to this conversation with Jadien. Coach, best of luck at Maryville. Congrats again on the big win over the weekend versus Belhaven, and best of luck this week with all the preparation.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Very good. Well, Jadien, making your Tornado Talk debut with us, the senior running back from Mississippi. How are you, Jadien?
Doing good, Phil. Mr. Phil, how about you?
Doing great, especially after a win just like we witnessed, 42-26 over Belhaven. Have you and the team had a chance to, sort of digest all this? And now that it's, be in the rearview mirror a little bit, but obviously a big win, what are the feelings now come Monday?
The feeling is still like you high off a win, but it's time to get back to work. You know what I'm saying? It's on to the next. Like I'm really happy for the seniors because I didn't know, like being from Mississippi, like I had told some of my teammates, like it's like I don't know, like it's I don't know how to put it without being like rude or anything, but like not knowing in the world of Division III football that Belhaven was running stuff for a little minute. But I was really happy for the seniors. You know what I'm saying? They go out with a bang against a team that they really hated. So yeah, I'm happy for them.
Yeah, no doubt. A tough matchup on paper, at least, and then the Tornadoes take care of business, especially in that second half. Jadien, really impressive. Third quarter and beyond. Can you tell us a little bit halftime? What the mentality was for the Tornadoes, what you maybe heard from the coaching staff, and what it meant to come out there in the third quarter and really take care of business.
Well, when it come to halftime, we were like, because it was almost the same exact situation we was in with Hampton Sydney, and you know the end of that game. So it's like my dog Coach Simon came in there and was like, "Hey, the team that make the fewest mistakes will win." So we tried to cut down on our mistakes because I truly believe that nobody has beaten us yet. We've only beaten ourselves. And the coaches have said that. Like, we've only beaten ourselves. We've taken ourselves out of it mentally. Like, offense being stagnant, defense not, you know what I'm saying, doing what they need to do at the first game. But the second game, we turned it all around and we did what we had to do, you know what I'm saying, to win. And we
Yeah.
got some special folks on the team.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Jadien. Jadien, you individually a big part of the victory as well. 14 carries for 112 yards, but do want to mention you busted a big one at one point, 44 yards. Can we talk about that rush right there, the 44-yarder? Can you kind of take us through it?
Honestly, in my eyes, I feel like it was a mid game for individually. I feel like it could be much better. It was a lot of runs that was missed. It was a lot of things that went on, and even with like my legs were so heavy that on Saturday, like I don't know why I didn't. I should have listened to my dog CLP Chesley Parker and gotten that ice bath on Friday. But I mean, just I don't even know. Just more to come. That's it.
Yeah. Looking forward to what's to come. And, you mentioned Chancellor Lee Parker. Tell us a little bit about Chancellor Lee Parker from your perspective, Jadien. Like, we obviously see him and what he's all about, but you're with him every single day, and you get to see firsthand just how special of a student athlete he is.
With him, with himself, he came from a Division I school as well. He came from FBS. So most of the time when, especially as a transfer, you don't expect to be accepted as well as I've been with the whole team, not just him. But like most people would be jealous or be like, oh, they brought him in here to do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not like my thought process at all. I understand it's his team. You know what I'm saying? He's a senior. He's been here for 3 years. So I'm playing my role, but he cool people. We be laughing all the time at practice. So yeah, my dog.
Yeah, and you guys it's really an interesting 1-2 punch with the two of you too. You have different styles, you're different kind of backs, correct? Tell us a little bit about each of your styles.
Well, with me, obviously a person is gonna feel like they can do everything, but I'm more of a third down receiving back, you know what I'm saying? Like I can get it done when my eyes are being disciplined, but like my strong suit is really just catching the ball, you know what I'm saying, getting out in space and being able to make something happen. Whereas he has the vision, like we call him all the time, we get mad, we call him Eddie Lacy. Cause you know what I'm saying, like he's a bigger guy, but he can move, you know what I'm saying? So it's like his sticky, like he's sticky, you know what I'm saying? He can juke you out your socks real quick. So I mean that's with him, and he powerful. Like being, I don't know what he said, like 230. He's coming. Like once he hit a hole, he gone. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to bring him down.
Jadien, tell us a little bit about your journey with football. When did you start playing? When did it become serious? And then how you eventually made your way here to Brevard College.
Well, I started playing in middle school. I didn't really play much, but I started working really hard, and but at the same time, my mental wasn't right. Coming in the ninth grade, I started like all that hard work it paid off. I ended up playing as a freshman, and I just completely forgot about school. So when I let that go, my mama, she ain't going for that. So she said, if you don't get these grades together, you off the team. And she was not playing. And so boom, she kicked me off, and I ended up just being young and stupid, just going out doing dumb stuff. And then so I messed myself up to play for 10th grade. So then I got back my 11th grade year and I started playing receiver. And I did okay. Um, but then come senior year, I was still playing receiver. And then my last 5 games I played DB corner. And that's when I got my offer to Northeast Mississippi Community College. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but so I went to Northeast. I didn't really play there. My coaches wanted me to play, but mentally I was still in high school. I feel like if I had had those 2 years to develop, like the ninth and 10th grade year, then I would have matured a little bit more on the field. But at the same time, God don't make mistakes, so we rolling. So I spent 2 years there. COVID happens, 2020, which is my sophomore year. We still played a season, but we got that year back. So and I got in the game. I did what I needed to do, but still, like I said, I was very immature and didn't have my mind together. And my goals, I wasn't really goal oriented at the time. So I leave there. I start working out. I go home. So I leave there. I go home for about almost a year and a half, and I'm working at Lowe's. I'm DoorDash and all types of stuff, but I'm still working out. I'm still getting it in. And in between that time, I actually had a real bad hot sprain on my ankle, and it was kind of tough to get back to, like already not having a school to go to, and then you hurting. You know what I'm saying? So it's just adding to the like depressed feeling that I was having. But so I ended up trying out at Memphis, and that's when UT Martin saw me. I tried out at Mississippi State as well, but that's neither here nor there. But I tried out in Memphis, and that's when UT Martin saw me. So then they told me to come on, and I went, stayed there for 2 years, got jerked around a little bit, and then I ended up leaving there, trying to go somewhere else. And I had I ended up taking a year and a half off, and last year I was working at a furniture factory. So it's really important that this season go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important for me because it's my last shot to be able to prove that I belong in this football world.
Great stuff. Really appreciate it, Jadien. Glad you're able to join us this evening on Tornado Talk. Hey, before we let you go, do you have a shout out you'd like to toss out there to anybody who might be watching, or you just want to say what's up to someone who's helped you along the way, perhaps?
I say to my mama, I love you, you my baby. My whole family, really, for sure. But shout out to Uni, he the one that texted me, and then shout out to Coach DJ Taylor because he was the one that, you know what I'm saying, kept the ball rolling for sure.
Very good. Jadien Deaton, a star from this past weekend's big win over Belhaven. Jadien, we're going to let you go. We got another one of your teammates here, as you can see, Joseph Cuellar. We're going to invite
what up, Jadien?
Joseph into the show. So, yeah, thanks so much, Jadien. We'll let you go. Appreciate it. Congrats on the win. Good luck at Maryville.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that brings us to Joseph Cuellar joining the program. Really excited to have Joseph on the show, the sophomore tight end out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. How are you, Joseph?
I'm good, Phil. How are you doing?
Doing great. Well, what a Saturday. Yeah. I'm still, smiling at, wide smile after that one. The big win over Belhaven, USA South Conference opener. Can you sort of sum it up, from the entire team's perspective, just how big that was for you guys?
It was huge. I mean, personally, last year, I didn't even travel to the Belhaven game. But from what I heard from the team, they won the conference after that game. They're all hype on their own field, even smoking cigars in our faces and trying to keep their starters in late into the game. So everyone just had a sour taste in their mouth, and we just really wanted to get out there and get that W. It's big.
Yeah, and in fact, you did. And one thing I talked to Jadien about was the second half, and how obviously, just the numbers speak for themselves, but something happened in that halftime locker room. I know it, that got you guys to another gear, not to mention just dominating on all phases of the game.
Yes, sir. Usually Coach Khayat would come and give us a talk, but he even told us before the game, I don't even need to give you guys a talk. We already know what we have to do. But Coach DJ Taylor did come into the locker room and hype us up a little bit for sure. But we were all locked in. We knew we had to come out and hit him in the mouth and get a W.
Joseph, you scored not just one touchdown, but 2 touchdowns in this one.
Sir.
That included your first career touchdown. So congratulations on that. But you get one later in the game as well. Big part of the offense from that tight end position. Describe to us from your perspective both touchdowns. Get as specific as you like as far as what happened on the field, but also how it felt.
Yeah. So the first touchdown, I ran. I knew I was open. I was like, please, Beamish, throw me the ball. He threw it to me, and as soon as I laid hands on it, I was like, I know I got to score. I cannot let this happen. I look, there's no one near me. I'm leaving on the 8-yard line with my finger up already to get in the end zone. And it was just the greatest feeling ever. I didn't even know how to react after I got into the end zone. And then the second one, it was a gimme. I was wide open. There was no one near me. Beamish just dumped it off to me, and I caught it in the end zone, and that was the 2. And all I could think about is just my family going crazy. I could literally hear them from the sideline just screaming. It was wild.
Yeah, Joseph Cuellar with us. That first touchdown, 19-yarder from Ethan Beamish, as you described. That one put the Tornadoes up 28-13. And then Belhaven would work their way back into the game, cut it to 28-26. But then, a huge drive, 8 plays, 76 yards, capped off by the Orr touchdown. And then the icing on the cake, the touchdown to you, Joseph, making it 42-26. We talked about sort of the second half and how that was critical, that third quarter, but that final push as well in the fourth quarter, that second to last drive, that 76-yard drive by the offense, and then, capitalizing after the defense came up big. Can you talk to us about those final few minutes of the game?
So the offense, we were in the huddle. We were just like, let's just drive it down their throat. We got to get this done. We got to just keep scoring. We can't stop. If we stop, then we're going to leave it up to the defense. And the defense played an amazing game, but we can't leave it all for the defense. We got to put some work in. So we were all in the huddle like, let's just move this ball and score. In the game. That's our mindset right there.
Yeah, and absolutely that's exactly what happened. Well, Joseph, no rest for the weary, right back at it. We've got this stretch of consecutive USA South Conference games, play a tough opponent in Maryville. There's a history between these two teams in terms of, rivalry. They're the closest team geographically to us here in the USA South. And here we go again. Tornadoes and Scots squaring off on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about the mindset of the team heading into this one.
We're pumped. We're ready to go into Maryville and get a W. We win this game, we're off. We're not losing another one if we win this game here, and we're gonna go get it done.
Very good. Yep, and a big week of preparation ahead, and I know you and the rest of the team are certainly ready for that. Joseph, tell us a little bit about your background in football. Hailing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, tell us sort of your journey and how you wound up here at Brevard.
Yeah, so I started playing football young age of 6. I was always a lineman. My whole life I was a lineman until 11th grade, and I was in high school. I was like, I'm going to drop 30 pounds and make the switch to tight end. I always wanted to play tight end, but I was always a little too big. But yeah, made the switch in 11th grade, played tight end in 2 years at First Colonial High School in Virginia Beach. Didn't have the greatest program there, but had a blast. And yeah, just Coach Khayat, Coach Romero and Coach Khayat were the two ones that helped me get here. And I came for a visit, talked to Khayat for a good time in a meeting, and I just felt loved, and I felt like I needed to be here.
And now that you've been here, now in your sophomore season, Joseph, can you kind of sum up what it's like to be a Brevard College Tornado and to go to school here at Brevard College?
It's great. It's definitely small. It's not what I'm used to. I'm from a pretty big area, but honestly, I enjoy it. I got a lot of free time playing football, and that's just what I want to do. Like school, yeah, sure. School's great. It's got small classrooms, so I can connect with teachers easier, connect with students, get good grades. But just football is the biggest thing here for sure.
Outstanding. Joined by Joseph Cuellar. Well, before we let you go, Joseph, do want to give you the opportunity. It's kind of a tradition here on Tornado Talk. Any thank yous or shout outs to anybody who might be watching or listening who you want to say what's up to?
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out my family, especially my mom, my dad. They come to every game, my biggest supporters. I want to shout out my coach, Jadien O'Leary, for sure. It's my guy. And of course, Coach Khayat and Ethan Beamish, two guys right there that helped me a lot.
Very nicely done. Joseph Cuellar, really appreciate you joining the program. Great job on Saturday. Congrats on the first career touchdown. Congrats on number 2. We got
Thank
two
you,
for the price of one there.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, can't wait to see what's next for this Brevard College football team. You guys just deserve all the best after that big win on Saturday and all the hard work you've been putting in. Thanks for joining us, Joseph.
Thank you, Phil.
All right. Well, we're going to switch gears very quickly now and head to the hardwood at the Boshemer Gymnasium and the volleyball program, and talking about a lot of success as of late, as joined by head coach Abbie Parde and also assistant coach Eric Freidt. Coach Parde, how are you?
I'm doing good, Phil. How are you? Doing
great. And Coach Freidt, good to have you back here. How are you?
Good to be back. Happy to be here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially, for a sports information guy, for a stats guy, when I see numbers like this, I love having, these conversations. The best start in the program's NCAA era history, a 10-2 record through 12 matches, and currently an 8-match win streak. Also the longest since Brevard went to the NCAA. Coach Parde, a lot of this has happened on the road, so we haven't been witness to every single match. But can you sum up, this successful start? 10-2, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I think what's setting this program aside or apart right now is just how gritty everybody is. Like, everyone is working so incredibly hard, like day in and day out. Everything we're working on in practice is transferring into games, which is making a really big difference. And I know this weekend we'll probably get into all the games, but like, this team doesn't like give up ever. Like, they're just so like just gritty, and they believe in themselves and they trust their teammates. And it's been really, really fun to like obviously coach them, but also just be able to cheer them on the whole time, because it's really successful and it's fun, and it's just really inspiring to be a part of it too. Like, I've loved watching it.
Coach Eric Freidt, what have you witnessed in this 10-2 start for the NATOs?
Oh, it's been wild, to say the least. Like a roller coaster ride of emotions from the bench. But we gritted out, like Coach Abbie was saying. But I think biggest, like most of all, is it's just a testament to all 20 of our girls and how hard we work every single day in practice, and how we push each other to create a culture of competitiveness and constant growth every single day. And I think it's starting to come out, evidenced by this win streak. Like, we're in a good spot right now, and we're going to continue to push to get better.
Now, Coach Parde, several of these matches across this win streak have been of the 5-set variety, and some of them have just been absolute, your heart's beating, fast. You're on the edge of your seat. It's a nail biter, whatever cliche you want to use. These have been some tight matches in a lot of these occasions, but obviously the record speaks for itself. The Tornadoes have come up with the win in so many of these cases. What are you noticing from the grit and the character of this team in these 5-set situations?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it is crazy how much extra volleyball we're playing. Like, we constantly joke that we're just like, oh, we love volleyball. We might as well just play as many sets as we can every day. So that's been fun. But honestly, they're just so competitive, and they just try so hard. And I think just the way that they trust their training, and they trust that their teammates are going to execute their their jobs too. Because we always talk about like just doing the little things all the time and not getting caught up in like the overwhelming way it can feel when you're in a 5th set and it might be 14-10 and you're just like, oh, I can't mess up. But instead, just trusting yourself and trusting that the player next to you is going to execute their role, I think is what's making us win these games. Is just like knowing that everyone's going to give 100%, nobody's going to hesitate, and we're going to go and we're going to make this our match. So it's it's been, again, I keep saying inspiring, but it is inspiring, those 5th set matches where it's like could easily fall either way and it just keeps coming our way. And I think we're earning that. That's not like a flip of a coin or like we're just getting lucky. Like we are out there and we're working for every single point. So it's cool.
Yeah, and Coach Eric, when I think of a 5-setter, there's a lot of what obviously Coach Parde mentioned in terms of, just the pressure being that much more, cranked up and so forth. But there's also just the simple physical side, the endurance side of things, where you've played for this long. And I'd imagine stamina and endurance and the conditioning that the team has put forth, during the preseason makes a difference in these 5-setters, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We have Coach Des to thank for that. Thank you, Coach Des. She's been working with our girls really, really hard, and it's evidenced by these 5-set matches that we're able to pull through. We always take it 1 point at a time, but sometimes every point or every set doesn't go your way, and you got to fight through it. You got to be gritty, and you just got to fight for your next point.
Coach Parde, we're going to have a couple of your student athletes on in just a few moments, but I do want to mention another milestone that was hit. And it seems like, if you keep track of this one particular student athlete, you've got to keep your pencil sharpened because there's another milestone to come before you know it. Bailey Lance over the weekend eclipsing the 1,500 career digs mark. Could you help put this in perspective for the fans out there in NATO Nation, just what that means for a collegiate player to hit that kind of number?
Yeah, it's incredibly impressive. I mean, on average, liberos will have, 4 to 6 digs a set. And Bailey has consistently been sitting in those numbers since she's gotten here at Brevard, which put her at this career mark that she's hit. But, I think what sets her apart from other liberos is she is everywhere all the time. Like I can't imagine playing us, how much people get frustrated having to deal with her on the other side of the net, because even if you try to hit away from her, she's still finding a way to pick up all those balls. So when we say gritty, like she really embodies that mindset of like going for everything all the time and like sacrificing your body because you have to when you're in the back row. But she makes some impressive plays all the time. And then on top of that, her out of system balls. So whenever like our setter takes the first ball, she's delivering a ball out to another hitter. Those balls are always impeccable too. And she's getting up and giving her hitters a really good chance to go execute even when she's setting the ball. So she does the whole game really well. Oh, and fine, she can serve too. She hit all of those stats too. So she's aggressive back at the service line. She's really executed all areas of the game to hit that mark this past weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned this past weekend, a 3-1 win over NC Wesleyan. That was followed by a 5-set win. What else is new over Southern Virginia? In a road trip, a substantial road trip, a lot of mileage, to get over there to NC Wesleyan, who was hosting that tri-match. Coach Eric, tri-match, but also having to travel a long way. That creates another set of challenges, correct?
Yeah, I think most of us just kind of used it as time to focus on what we had to do the next day. Luckily, we didn't have to travel the same day that we were playing, so we were able to use that bus ride as like a way to relax and connect with each other as a team and go over some scouts and what we were going to see Saturday. And I think it really prepared us and it really helped us pull through on Saturday with the 2 wins.
Well, next up, a couple of matchups here at the Bosch as we continue USA South Conference play. That begins tomorrow, Tuesday, 6 p.m. versus Salem. USA South Conference action, looking to keep this winning streak going. Coach Parde, I know the team's excited about being able to play in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I think just being at home and having everyone's friends there, it's awesome to see the support from other student athletes as well. And then tomorrow's also faculty and staff night, so we're hoping to get quite a few professors involved into the game too. So we have a little something to mix up. If you can make it to the game tomorrow, I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, tomorrow's matchup should be good. Salem plays a little bit different style of volleyball than we play, so just maintaining the middles because that's their most aggressive front row hitters. So just finding a way to maintain that, keeping them out of system. But the players are hungry. Like they are hungry for this game tomorrow. It'll be fun. It should be an exciting game.
maybe a final word from you, Coach Freidt, as well, to sort of sum up, where the team's at right now on this portion of their journey.
Yeah, I think we're happy where we're at right now, but we're not satisfied. We've got a long season ahead of us, and it's great that we're starting out hot, but it's a long season and we got to keep working hard, and we've got to continue to push to get better every single day.
Very good. Head coach Abbie, Parde, assistant coach Eric Freidt. Stick around with us just a couple more moments. We're going to invite in a pair of your student athletes into the program. Really looking forward to these conversations. As Izzy Boulay has joined the conversation. Also with us is Makenna Parkins. Great to see Makenna. So we'll start with you, Eric. Tell us a little bit about these two student athletes now that you've had the chance to coach them for a good portion of this season already.
Yeah. So everybody loves Mac. Everybody loves Izzy. We can't function without them. They're awesome. Makenna Parkins, I've never seen a player lead like she does between points, off the court, especially. Like, she just has a way of rallying our team together, and it's so special and so cool to see. And it's just like, it's something I've never seen before, and I got to credit her for that. She's awesome. And Izzy is awesome freshman setter. She has stood out since day one. And by the way she plays, the way that she acts, her responsibility that she carries, I mean, you would never guess that she was ever a freshman, the way that she plays and the way that she carries herself as a leader.
Outstanding. Coach Parde, tell us even more about these two, maybe something NATO Nation doesn't know about each of them.
Oh, I mean, Makenna's been around for a while, so I think it's kind of tough to find something that people don't know about her. But yeah, I think Coach nailed it. Her leadership skills are just honestly top notch. But this last season, or this current season, we have moved her from one pin to the other pin and kind of gave her a new role this year. And she's embraced it with that team first mentality and has like truly executed so well every single game. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially coming into your fifth year and kind of being used to a certain location and on the court. So all props to her for being a team player, for embracing a new role and executing it at the highest rate, honestly. And then, yeah, I think Coach again nailed it with Izzy. She doesn't play like a freshman. Like, she truly handles running a whole offense in general is difficult. Running a 5-1, doing it as a freshman is even more challenging. But she just embraces the challenge and just gets better every single day, constantly looking at ways she can improve. And that, again, is just, it's why you're seeing a Rookie of the Week award with her. It's why you're seeing all the success on the offense, because she's doing all the little things every day just to continue to improve and just to push this program even farther.
Outstanding. Coaches, really appreciate you joining the program this evening. Folks, get on out to the Bosch tomorrow, 6 o'clock, first serve. That's Tuesday night at the Bosch when the Tornadoes take on Salem, looking to continue their winning ways. And then there's also a match on Saturday. If you want to head on out on Saturday versus William Peace, that's a noon start at the Bosch Emer Gymnasium. Coach Parde, Coach Freidt, thanks so much for joining the show. Best of luck this week. We'll see you at the Bosch tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks for having us.
All right. There they go. And joined once again by Makenna Parkins. Great to have her back on the program. And also making her Tornado Talk debut, Izzy Boulay. Izzy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Phil?
Doing great. And how you doing, Makenna?
I'm good, Phil. How are you?
Outstanding. Well, it's great to have the two of you on. I've been following the team all season, and I just continue to get blown away every time I see a couple things. One, the win streak get extended. Two, yet another 5-set win that somehow you guys continue to get it done. Makenna, we'll start with you. Great start to the season, no doubt about it. What would you credit, the success thus far to?
Like the coaches said, I think it's our competitiveness and practice. Every day we come in and we push each other to get better. And I think it's all 20 of us going, head to head every day. That's really pushing each other to get better every day. And I think it's really transferring onto the court.
Izzy, would you like to add to that as far as the things you've noticed over this successful run?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Mac and the coaches. Really just that competitiveness at practice. It's just every day there's something new. There's some new play that like we're pushing to get through. And I just think that work and also just the positivity and like the general dynamic of the team has really helped us push through harder moments and get those good wins.
And we talked to the coaches about it, but I'd like to hear from each of you. This whole 5-set dynamic. You get to the 5th set, and obviously it's a do or die situation. Only one team's going to come away with the win. But not only the fifth set scenario, but I mean, we're seeing scores like 14-14 in the 5th set, and where do we go from here, kind of thing. And more often than not, the Tornadoes getting it done in that 5th set. Makenna, can you sort of, take us through it, what it means to be on the court during one of these 5th set, but also what's the key to winning these 5th sets?
Yeah, for sure. Like Coach Eric said, it's just one play at a time. We try to think if the score is tied, we think 0-0 instead of 14-14. We like to break it down, first to 5, first to 10, first to 15. And really just relying on each other, like they said, instead of worrying about, we're down 4, just that one point that we're playing at, trusting the other 5 people on the court that we're going to make it happen.
Izzy, anything to add to the 5th set success?
I think it's definitely just pushing through, like we've had plenty of tied scores and, games where it's looking like who knows what's going to happen, but it's really just, that trust and looking at the person next to you and being like, hey, we got this, like 1 point at a time, and we can come back from this, and we got it. And I mean, it's worked. Definitely the confidence of knowing that like we've succeeded in so many 5th sets. I feel like we go into them so relaxed. We're like, we've got this. This is nothing, it's just another game.
Yeah, no doubt. Makenna, tell us a little more about the position change that you've been, adjusting to so quickly to this season.
Yeah, for sure. So for the past 4 years, I've been an outside hitter, which is the left pin. And during preseason, Abbie pulled me to the office and said, hey, I want to see what you can do from the right pin. And I was like, okay, whatever you need, coach, I'll do it. And I think it's been pretty successful. So how we can make it better. And I think it's getting better every day.
Yeah, agreed. Certainly the results speak for itself. A team high 114 kills this season, double-digit kills in 5 straight matches. The stats go on and on. So congrats on making that transition. And Izzy, tell us a little bit about your position and obviously your role, the setter, the floor general, the quarterback of the offense, all these things. Tell us a little bit about the art of being a setter and, what you try to accomplish out there each night.
It's definitely, sometimes, but like they talked about as a freshman, it's definitely very stressful sometimes where, I've got people who have been here for 4 years, 5 years. And I'm like, okay, I'm learning everybody. It's brand new. But really, I just think the key to being a setter is you just got to be flexible because, you're going to make mistakes or somebody's going to want a ball different than some other person. So it's really just at the end of the day, not really if I think it was a good ball, but if it was a good ball for that person and just doing the best I can to kind of match everybody and make everybody else, succeed because that's my job at the end of the day.
Yeah. Makenna, I'd love to have you tell us even more about Izzy as a setter, because obviously any success for a hitter, when we see these big kill totals and so forth, the setter is such a big part of that equation. Show off Izzy a little bit to NATO Nation.
Of course, that's so easy to do. It's definitely been different, having Caitlin Presley for the past 4 years setting and then going to Izzy. It's definitely a new dynamic and we've had to learn, some changes, but just in the first 2 to 3 games, I think we figured it out. And Izzy just knows right where to put the ball for the hitters. And, if it isn't the perfect set, we communicate with her and she takes the feedback like a champ and, fixes it for the next one. And we're just rolling with it.
Yeah, the assists and also the aces, as we see by that graphic there, is he getting it done in that department, 26 aces this season. Tell us a little bit about the service ace. It's not just a weapon of yours, but the Tornadoes as a whole, big ace totals.
We're definitely, I think that's one of our, prides as a team is that we're very aggressive servers, and us being aggressive servers at the end of the day also goes into our service eve and that execution. But really, I think it's just, we're confident getting back on that service line and putting in a good ball. And it just happens to turn out that we're aggressive enough to get these teams and rack up the aces. So.
All right, Izzy, I'm going to let you return the favor to Makenna. And so tell us about not Makenna one as one of your primary hitters, but the hitters all together that you have the ability to set up.
Yeah, I mean, Makenna as a hitter, she's been really great. Like I'm a freshman, I am learning what she likes, I'm learning what everybody else likes. So all the hitters, Makenna especially, just being able to go to them after maybe a not so good ball and being like, hey, what was bad about that? Like, what do I need to do better for you? They've all been so good at communicating with me and, understanding that it's not always going to be perfect. And all we can do is think about the next ball, and I can try to better that for them. And they can try their best to better my mistakes as well, because that's really all we can do at the end of the day.
Yeah, the team mentality, there's no doubt about it, and getting it done across the board, the Tornadoes. Well, Makenna, 5th year, on the volleyball court, and great to see you back here. Tell us a little bit about, coming back for the 5th year, that decision-making process, and, how gratifying it's been for you to be back for another year of competition while continuing your studies.
Of course, yeah. I was kind of in limbo for a little while about whether I wanted to take the 5th year or not. And then I knew, if you get another year to play ball, you might as well, because you don't get that opportunity after you graduate. And coming back for a 5th year also gave me the opportunity to get another degree. So I'll have 2 when I graduate and 2 minors. So, yeah.
All right. A couple of quick follow-up questions, Makenna. What are the 2 degrees or you've got one of them in hand already, but what are the 2 degrees?
So I'll have 2 majors, exercise science and health science, and then a minor in coaching and psychology.
All right. And next is the question everyone wants to know. At least I feel like I'm getting pressured from people to find out. Will you be playing basketball this season as well?
Of course.
So another season as a dual sport student athlete. Outstanding stuff, Makenna. So we broke some news here on Tornado Talk. How about that? So NATO Nation is excited to see you back on the basketball court as well. But it's been great having you these years, Makenna, and can't wait to see what's to come. But we're not done yet. We're in the middle of this volleyball season, and we're just getting started in a lot of ways. Makenna talked about her academics. Izzy, tell us a little bit about what you've been studying since you've arrived here at Brevard College.
Yeah, so I'm looking at doing exercise science. Being an athlete, I feel like a lot of athletes tend to lean towards that kind of area because it's what we know, it's what we love. I'd love to be able to give back to like sports and that community in another way after I'm done. So that's the goal. So far, it's going good. I'm loving it. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm loving all the academics here. It's going great.
Great to hear. Well, great to have each of you with us. Izzy Boulay, the freshman setter from Noonan, Georgia. You can see there she won the USA South Rookie of the Week award just 1 week ago. And also Makenna Parkins with us, a senior from Marion, North Carolina. One of the most accomplished student athletes ever to grace the halls of the Boschmer Gymnasium. Female Athlete of the Year in 2023. Ann Edders Excellence Award winner in 2022. Big awards at the BESPYs on an annual basis. And great to have Makenna back for another season. Well, before we let you go, and Izzy, this is a bit of tradition here at Tornado Talk, just so you know. So we'll let Makenna start because she knows the drill. But you have the chance for shout outs and thank yous. Anyone who's helped you along the way, someone you just want to say hello to, someone who's watching or might watch down the road. Makenna, show us how it's done.
First, I just want to thank the Lord for giving me the ability to play sports and, be here, and my family and friends for supporting me these past 5 years. And then big thank you to you and the media team, Phil, for making stuff like this happen.
Appreciate that, Makenna. Izzy, shout outs for us?
Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to, my family and everybody back home who's supporting me. I know a couple of them are watching right now. So just really a big thank you to all you guys who have helped push me, from high school to here. And also, if you joined me later in the process, pushing me to where I am now. And then also just my coaches, like my coaches now, my coaches along the way, that I can only do so much without somebody kind of behind me to be like, you got this, or this is what you need to do. So definitely a big thank you to them.
Great stuff. Well, it's been great catching up with each of you. Izzy Boulay, the setter on this Tornado roster, and then also Makenna Parkins hitting from the right side now. So keep an eye on that. Well, folks, get on out to the Bosch tomorrow, 6 p.m., as the Tornadoes host Salem in USA South Conference play. Tornadoes off to a hot start, looking to keep that going tomorrow. Hope we can pack the Bosch. Izzy, Makenna, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
All right. Well, great to have each of them with us, and looking forward to seeing them in action tomorrow at the Boschmer Gymnasium. Well, big thank yous to everyone who joined us this evening. Really appreciate the conversations with the coaches, head coach Bill Khayat, also volleyball coaching staff, Coach Eric Freidt, and also head coach Abbie Parde. We spoke to Jadien Deaton, the big star running back from this past weekend's big Belhaven win, and also Joseph Cuellar, the tight end who scored his first 2 career touchdowns here at Brevard College. Then wound up the show with Izzy Boulay and Makenna Parkins. A big thanks to our producer, Alex Spangler, and all those who help behind the scenes, including Emily Denega and company. And big thanks to you, NATO Nation, for continuing to tune into Tornado Talk and continuing to support these student athletes. We'll see you next Monday for another edition of Tornado Talk. We'll see you tomorrow at the Bosch for volleyball, Wednesday men's soccer, and then women's soccer and volleyball on Saturday. Look forward to seeing all that. Plus, don't forget Futures football, noon on Sunday at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Thanks again for joining the show. Go Tornadoes.